Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 413 of the Two Dum Yinzers. This is our Saturday morning installment. How you doing today, Mike?
Oh, I'm doing great. Doing great.
Oh,
Happy to be here.
yes, absolutely happy to be here. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, hope you're having a good weekend so far. We got Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow night. They are traveling out to Las Vegas to take on the hated Raiders for this week 3 matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got plenty to talk about today in those regards. We're also going to talk a little bit about some college football. We're going to talk about the all of a sudden red hot Pittsburgh Pirates. I got a lot to say about this. Mike, oh, yeah. Let me start on these Pirates just because they have 8 games left, okay? They're 8 games under 500. They're 73-81. They beat the Reds last night, 7-5. They beat the Cubs 2 out of 3 games. They beat the Reds in this first game. These two teams need these wins bad. They look down the schedule. They see the Pirates. They're like, yeah, baby. And all of a sudden, now this team that loves playing spoiler is really pissing me off because now, because they want to win, they're winning. Why didn't we do this all season long?
Exactly. They're like, oh, we're going to treat these last games like the playoffs. So next year we'll be ready for it.
And that pisses you off even more.
Why weren't
people
you
be
this
happy about this?
Why weren't you this competitive after you lost? Oh, I don't know, 5 games after you ran off that amazing first half or that first month.
Like,
where was that competitive fire?
Ridiculous.
And fans are eating this up.
They're eating it up.
This team, man, they're all fired up. Oh, this is great to see. No,
they're going to get 500. They're going to be spoiler.
No.
They're going to knock everyone out. Who cares? Your team didn't try when it mattered. Your team didn't try to get to the playoffs. Why would you cheer for this team now?
Yeah, it's frustrating because you have this ability. Why didn't you do this all season long? And Brian Reynolds trying to talk smack to the Cubs manager. Dude, you went 0 for 4 that game.
Yeah,
Buckos won. This team, it's there. It makes no sense. It's frustrating. I'm not buying into this hype.
Mike,
this is what year 4 of the rebuild. You should be fighting for a playoff spot, not fighting to be 500.
And people are getting upset because of this Cubs manager ripping the Pirates, saying that that's not a good team that took 2 games from us. People are upset about this. People are mad that this guy, being mad at this Cubs manager is the last person that you should be mad about this Pittsburgh Pirates team. You know what? That and the hodgepodge of nothingness are the two most, the comments that made the most sense in the past 2 seasons about this Pirates team. Do not get upset because your team didn't play good enough through it. Like I said, if they can get up enough to win these last 10 games to get 500 or to spoil these other teams' playoff chances, that should make you even more pissed off. It should make you happy if this team literally stinks the rest of the way, because that's what they've done consistently for 6 straight months. And if they come out in 10 games and play good baseball because they want to, that should really piss you off.
It should. And where's the manager, demanding that? Okay, where was this effort all season long? I would be calling the players out in the media. Like I would if I was Derek Shelton, I would be like, you know what? In the media, like, hey guys, I appreciate the effort, but where was it when we were struggling all season long?
You couldn't get this attitude together? When it was.
If I was the owner or the GM, I'd be like, talking to the manager, why are your guys just now finally realizing, oh, it's time to play? It's a farce. It's a joke. It's one thing, like if you're playing well, but you're still losing and you can play spoilers at the end of the season, if that makes sense. Like you're playing well, but you're just running into teams that are that much better than you and you lose. You're not embarrassing yourselves the way the Pirates did. Then it's okay to play spoiler because, you played well all year. The Pirates have not played well all year. They had 2 hot months and that was it. It was a barren wasteland there.
And Mr. Obvious made this comment from Chicago, again, you're going to be upset at what he's saying? Come on, this is not a good team.
They're not.
I saw, from what I saw for the first 154 games, take that first month out. I'm sorry. It wasn't a good team. Again, if you get mad now because of what this guy says, or if you are buying into the fact that this team is going to reach 500 and finish 81-81, or even if you're excited because this team is playing better in these last 10 games, again, that's the problem. You should be
Yeah.
pissed off. You should be pissed off. It's
Like,
I can't look at it any other
yeah.
way, Mike.
Yeah. This is not a Pirate team that has a history of winning recently. Now, if they had like a history of like always being competitive and then they had this down year and they're playing spoilers, okay, yeah. You're doing something at the end. You're showing what you're able to. It's a bad year or whatever. No, you have bad years constantly. We had a 3-year window out of the last 20 some odd years where we were competitive. And this is what, year 4 of this most recent rebuild, you shouldn't be happy being potentially 81 and
3
81.
years in 30 years, Mike. It was 30
Yeah.
freaking years.
Yeah. And this,
You only gave us 3 good years, and you're getting mad because somebody says that this team is not that good.
They're not. They are not that good. Yeah. Good teams lose to bad teams. It happens. But
that's baseball, 162 games,
exactly. It happens. It happens in every sport. You see it in football where like the worst team in the league will upset the best team. Shit happens. It's sports. But to act like you're better than the Cubs, you're not. I can pull up the records right now, and I can clearly see that you are not better than the Cubs. You are one of the worst teams in baseball. You're just
Pirates
you're
again.
just lucky to have 2 hot months out of the 12 that this league plays.
Sitting at 73 and 81 with 8 games left, coincidentally. So this is just giving people enough fire to run with this. Cubs 79 and 76, trying to get their way, work their way into a wild card spot. Yeah. Game 2 of 3 today. It's 6:40, Mike. I believe they play Philadelphia and Miami after this series, and that is it. Here's the thing. I guess anything for a Pirates fan to keep the season alive, because again, with football starting, with this disaster seasons the Pittsburgh Pirates have, you got to hang on to something. And if there's anything, it could be this. Mike, in the game last night, there were 4 home runs for the Pirates. Keep Brian Hayes, Triolo, Endy, and Davis all hit home runs in this game. Also, David Bednar has 38 saves. He has the most saves after the All-Star break, more than any other pitcher in the majors. So he has more saves than anybody else since the All-Star break. Those are the couple little things. Again, that's all you should be excited about. If anything, all this other stuff is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Big stacks, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Very impressive.
If you're getting, if you're getting upset or irritated or even excited about this team in your little right, you might want to keep it to yourself, because it's again, most people have turned over to football season. And it just sounds really silly right now.
Yeah, this is the same fan base that would say when they had that hot month that this team is better, more successful recently than the Penguins and the Steelers. Like, get the F out of here. You're fighting for a 500 record. Get out of here.
8 games.
This team it's a farce and a joke. You had last time this team was relevant was the 70s. So get the F out of here. We didn't win anything in the 90s. We were competitive.
They didn't win anything 10 years ago.
Didn't win anything 10 years ago.
They did nothing. You get to the playoffs.
Your most
seems like such a high point for us, but it's just something that happens to teams every year.
Your most treasured moment in recent history is an opposing pitcher dropping a baseball,
which was pretty awesome. It
was pretty awesome, but you didn't win anything. Penguins,
I'll take it.
Steelers, they can look back and say, hey, between the two of them, there's 5 fucking championships. The Pirates, not even a playoff series win. Get the F out of here.
Yeah. I'm going to hop over to the Steelers. Interesting take I got from Merrill Hodge, Mike.
Yeah, I saw that.
Merrill Hodge says, the Steelers wide receivers, you got people jogging on your routes and they're late. So that has an effect on your quarterback. I'm telling you, I see nobody with a sense of urgency on the perimeter when they go run routes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is not pro football. These are not pro football players when they run routes like that, in quote. There's so many problems. Where did this go wrong? Mike, where did this go off the tracks?
I don't know. And he's like the only person I've seen say this after analyzing everything. So I don't know if he's seeing something everyone else is not.
I've actually heard it from one other source prior to this. Okay. I didn't say it.
I did. No. That's fine. And like, I trust Merrill Hodge because he has an eye for talent. He has an eye for the game. And I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. When we saw this team late last year and all through training camp and preseason, everyone was firing on all cylinders. Now that the games matter, I don't know what the disconnect is. This is just weird. It's not what we expected. It's just a weird situation right now. I have no idea what the hell's going on this early in the campaign with this team.
One thing that we do have going for us, Mike, the Raiders have given up an 81% completion pass. What? I'm sorry.
No, but no. You continue that. I have a thought to piggyback off of that.
Okay, I was just going to say, just how does this match up? Because again, these guys aren't doing that well against the pass rush. Against the pass, we aren't doing that great with the pass. Something's got to give. And then you flip the ball over. This team hasn't let up a sack all season. We are the second top team in the league with sacks. This game, Mike, is going to be really hard to predict in so many ways. You know, once you sit down on Sunday morning and you say, all right, who's going to win? We're going to do our over and unders. We're going to try to figure these things out. This might be one of the more difficult games this year to try to figure out.
I think so. And, they give up 81% completion percentage. Easy for me to say. Matt Canada's going to be like, oh, they're thinking we're going to pass. So we're just going to run. We're just going to run the ball, baby.
How about we do the jet sweep?
We'll
they'll never guess that. We didn't do it last week.
No, and we're going to use Najee as a zone and zone running schemes because that he's a great zone blocking running back. He's going to do something so stupid that you're not going to expect. But I do expect Dan Moore to shut down Max Crosby since he's shutting down everyone else. But yeah, this is the game where the passing offense should come alive. Then on the flip side, this is the game where, my God, you better hope the run defense steps up. We're the worst, if not the worst, or one of the worst run stopping, defenses in the league. And Josh Jacobs is a pretty good running back. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. But yeah, this is the one where let Kenny Pickett throw. Let him throw. If it wins you the game, it wins you the game.
You just got to let it all throw it out the win in this game.
If you lose, at least he's trying. I'd rather, live and die by Kenny Pickett as my quarterback.
Just let him see if he is the real not let him pass because this team is not doing good at pass defense. That would be like, as all over the place. That would be the dumbest thing that you could ever do. And this is why that Matt Canada's job is on the line. A lot of people speculation over the past couple of days that he could be mid-season by the end of this season, a whole bunch of talk going on, and it's only going to increase if this team does not score, if this team does not move the ball down the field. This team has to score. Mike, we've only scored one offensive touchdown one time in each of the last two games. Again, our receivers are not running routes, our line isn't blocking, our quarterback isn't throwing, our receivers aren't catching, something's got to give here. Something's got to give. At some point, Coach Tomlin has to take these guys in the locker room, take accountability, and say, guys, what we're doing, it stinks. It stinks bad.
No, and this is atypical of a Tomlin team. Usually, if one area struggles, everyone else is going well. That part will catch up. Now everyone's off. We talked about all off season how excited Tomlin looked for this. We haven't seen him this excited since year 1, year 2, year 3 when he started coaching the Steelers, and I have no idea what's going on.
I was never. We could go on all day about that with Mike Tomlin, but you're right, Mike.
It's just this is not the team we saw in training camp, preseason, in the end of last year. Something is completely off. I really wish I could put my finger on it. Other than this is not the team we saw at the end of last year training camp. It's mind-boggling.
Here's an interesting note for you. Pittsburgh Steelers have not defeated the Raiders outside of Pittsburgh since 1995. 1995, that was when the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They played them in January of 96. So that season, Mike, was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers beat this Raiders team outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's why I'm picking the Raiders to win. We have trouble beating them there. We have trouble beating them, period. And Pittsburgh, man, every game I watch where we play in the West Coast, we're off. We're never that good. So, yeah, you can point to everything that's happening this season, but my God, just the trends of this team. It's not. No, we played terribly on the West Coast. We play terrible at Oakland. It doesn't matter. They can be giving up 95% completion percentage passing the ball, we're still going to lose.
And you mentioned the struggle against the running game the past, the first 2 weeks of the season. This weekend's going to be a telltale story, and here's why. Because the first week you faced Christian McCaffrey, who's arguably the best running back in the league this year. And the second week, for the most part, you faced Nick Chubb. And when you face these two guys, you given up, you got dominated. The defensive line got dominated. We couldn't keep these guys. Both of them was just breaking playoff after playoff, 5-yard gains for Nick Chubb. McCaffrey ran all over the field. Now, as you mentioned, this Raider team does have a good running back. So here's the thing, Mike. It comes down to this. After playing against McCaffrey, after playing against Chubb, what have you been doing these past 2 weeks in practice if this team comes out and cannot stop the Raiders running game this weekend? What do you say if these things just keep continuing week after week after week? The problem. Is this just saying that we're not capable? We're not capable of stopping a running back in this league. Again, it's going to take a game or two to get to a team that doesn't really have a great running back before we actually, look really good.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, I think is going to be a test because it's going to say if we're actually, trying to improve on this defensive run stop because, carried over from last year wasn't that great when we played Chubb in them last year. This year, it looks, again, two very good running backs. But this game right here, I think, is going to tell a lot. Is there anything that we could do to stop the run game? If this guy runs wild on us, you know what? It's going to be a long season. And how many things have we said so far that concluded with the sentence, or this can be a long season?
Yeah. And the only saving grace right now is the Raiders run offense. It's terrible this year. Josh Jacobs, he has 46 yards on 28 carries for a whopping 1.6 average. That's well off his career average. Dude's hold on real quick. For his career, this cat has 4,800 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 4 full seasons, excuse me. So he's a legit right now. They're just not running well. So they're licking their chops thinking this is the game where we get back on track. And we're hoping this is the game where we can actually shut someone down who is having trouble. Because if we can't shut them down, this is going to be a long, long game.
Ralph on the board, I do want to say thank you for the compliment. Also, Ralph says it's time for mediocre Mike Tomlin needs to retire, step away after his 18-year coaching the Steelers. You know what? I don't think he's going to be around too much longer. Something came up the other week where people were talking about some inside scoop that, he's not going to be here for his whole entire life. He had even mentioned that, in general, just talk about retiring one day. Hopefully, at some point, at the end of Coach Knowles' career, it's got stagnant. I just wonder, is this stagnant or are we in a funk? Because again, 7 seasons without a playoff win, and you could go back at the end of the day, people will always, because you can bring up the fact that this dude has 18 winning seasons. But at the end of the day, guys, what do we have, Mike?
I think we're stuck.
Tell me, Mike, what we truly have with Mike Tomlin.
We're stuck in a rut right now. It's kind of like you saw at the end of the Cowher era. We were in a rut, and he had a right in the middle until we got Big Ben and where it would build around him. Noel had that rut at the end. That's where you've been in place for so long. You become stale. You become complacent to where you got to move on to a different challenge. I think that's what it is right now. You become so complacent. You've been here for so long, no longer have to face that adversity. You no longer have that.
People say he's too much of a player's coach, Mike. Is this true?
Players coach. That's what I want. I want a players
coach.
No,
not in that sense. Not in the sense that you're not holding people accountable.
Well, it's because that's all subjective.
I don't want to hear that, Mike.
You can do it behind closed doors and hold people accountable. That's what.
But nobody's being held accountable. Obviously, I mean, it's not showing on the field for years after years here.
I don't know, man. He kept AB in check for how many years here? He's holding people accountable. He's keeping people in check to get the best out of them. When they go somewhere else, they're terrible. So
when are we going to get the best out of this team? That's what I want to know.
I don't know it.
That's what I want to know.
We have bad players in the offensive line. We have a bad quarterback. We have bad running backs, bad defensive linemen. So we're cleaning up from the end of the Tomlin Colbert era, and Omar Khan only had one off season to try and clean it up. And That's not looking too well. The people that he brought in small is looking terrible. At least some of the linebackers showed up last week, so that's a good sign right there. We'll see what Fehoko does this week coming in. So I think Tomlin lost his fastball, Colbert lost his fastball. The organization was too slow to move on. We saw this with Donahue and Cowher. They hit a loggerhead, so they got rid of Donahue, brought in Colbert, and injected new life into the team. I think they waited too long. I think Colbert should have been gone a few years ago. If you're going to keep Tomlin, get him a new GM, someone young and fresh. This move should have happened years ago to re-inject life into the team. But something
like the guys like Patrick Peterson comes in. I can't wait. All I want to do is play for Coach Tomlin. And Patrick Peterson is one of the most disappointing players
he's
I've
laying
seen.
Flat. Yeah. Like I said, at least last week, Landon Robinson showed up. Robert showed up. Cole Holcomb, they showed up.
Those inside linebackers, what one thing we are improving on is forcing turnovers, on defense, which either one of the two linebackers caused last season for the entire season. So that is a step in the right direction, Mike.
Yeah. And there's a lot of roster turnover, and they didn't play a lot in the preseason, so that could be an issue right there. It might take time for them to gel.
I'm just getting tired of making excuses for this team.
I know.
I'm getting tired. I've been doing it for 10 years now, and it's annoying.
I know.
Mike, we do have to move on. NFL Game Day Next Gen Stats. They're top 10 pass rushers. I'm going to give them to you from. Let's go 10-1.
Yeah.
Number 10, Alex Highsmith. All right. That's good pick. That's a good sign. Yeah. Alex Highsmith, number 10 on the list of NFL Game Day Next Gen Stats, top 10 pass rushers. Number nine is Josh Allen. Number 8, Zadarius Smith. 7, Javon Hargrave. 6, Quinnen Williams. 5, Trey Hendrickson. 4, Harrison Reddick. 9, Myles Garrett. You're like, yeah, this is getting good. This is getting better. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Nick Bosa. And number 1, Micah Parsons. TJ Watt didn't even crack this list. The guy
leads the league in sacks.
He leads the league in sacks. It was a defending defensive player of the year. All these things, the accolades. Here we go. He doesn't make the top 10 list at this point. This is funny. This is just funny.
Like what are they looking at in their next gen stats? That's what I want to know. It's comical, I don't understand it. Analytics in football does not.
TJ Watt is not in the top 10 players. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, the metrics that they try and use make no sense to me whatsoever. Like football is the one sport where you can look at a stat line and pretty much you can gauge a player. It still is what it is at this point. Schemes are involved, but if you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad. And I just don't get where they come up with pass rush win rate. Okay. Watt has a lower one than Garrett, but yet he has more sacks. I don't get it.
It doesn't even make sense when you sit back and you think about it.
If you beat your man, but you can't make the sack, it doesn't mean anything. Same thing with
you could beat your man 20 times in a game. If you don't make a play, that's nothing. That means nothing.
Yeah, they have run stop, win rate. You're beating your blocker, but did you actually stop the guy? It's I don't know. I like analytics in hockey. I like them in baseball. I like them in basketball. Football, they just don't work.
That's the bright spot. The bright spot is our TJ Watt, and he's and that's like the only thing we have to look forward to. Everybody else is playing terrible in this team.
Mm-hmm. We got that for us.
We got TJ Watt.
That's all we got.
Mike, what's going on? What's this talk with the XFL USFL merger?
I saw this the other day. Yeah, it's what it looks like. Yeah, they are in talks to merge. Still got to figure out what the league is going to be called. Are all the teams coming, or some of the teams coming? Are they going to play in host cities?
I mean, that's the one.
Are they going to be in hubs? There's still a lot to work out. But they are going to merge a lot faster than we thought they would.
And that's we were
on the bandwagon.
We called it, man.
Yeah, we did.
We called it. We called this a long time ago. As a matter of fact, we had said that these two leagues, they have to merge. Mm-hmm. They're not going to survive by themselves, but together, I think they could grow and eventually not be, and not so much in the near future, be any kind of competition for the NFL. But you could run along as the Ring of Honor or as an early AEW or something like this. There's nothing wrong with that. I support
No.
this. I do. I like it. I like the fact that there's another league that you could
Yeah.
watch. And I think also that the talent is going to get better in this league as time goes on,
Yeah.
because teams are going to, guys are going to try even harder, because it's like, okay, shit, I didn't make the NFL. I didn't make the
Yeah, I'm
Cowboys.
so
I didn't make the
close.
Steelers, but I still have a chance. So these guys are going to get better by nature, and as
Mhm.
the league evolves. So I do like this, Mike. I've liked this since day one. I thought this was a great
Yeah.
idea. But yes, XFL and USFL looks like it's going to happen.
I'm loving it. It's more football, the better.
Yes.
And they don't have to compete with the NFL.
Right.
They can be like, hey, hey, we want to try this in the NFL in this new league. Hey, we'll try it out here, see how it works, how the fans respond to it, how the players respond to it, and see how it works, and it carry it over. It's like I want the NFL to adopt like the kickoff rule that like I think the XFL had, where you're lined up 10 yards in front of your returner. It made
Yeah.
the returns more exciting. So use this as an experimental league too, for different rule changes, different technologies. We had the drone flying overhead for plays and stuff like that. Just try new stuff in this league and see if you can adapt it to the NFL as well.
Mike, we got college games underway. We have a lot of things going on today in college football. I'm going to start with the Pittsburgh Panthers. They are hosting the number 17 North Carolina. Drake May and company comes to town today. Larry Fitzgerald will be an honorary captain for this game. It's gonna be a hard. You know what? The Penguins, the Pirates, the Panthers lose this game. They're gonna be sitting at 1-3. Looking forward, you do got a Florida State game coming up. You do got a Notre Dame game coming up. You got a lot of football. They lose today. It's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a tough battle to claw back in for the Panthers. Let me talk about some of the other games. Mike, of course, your Penn State Nittany Lions, number 7, they take on number 24 Iowa. That's always a nice game.
Oh, that's going to be a tough game. Both 3-0, whiteout at Penn State. It's going to be best atmosphere in college football is the whiteout. It's going to be a tough game. This Iowa team is tough. They always play Penn State tough.
7:30 this evening. Number 6 Ohio State at number 9 Notre Dame. That should be a good game.
Oh God,
this is going to tell us a lot about Notre Dame, I think.
Yeah.
But you know what? I do watch Sam. Yeah, I know. I think it's going to tell a lot about both of these teams, because Sam Hartman is damn good. So I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out. That also is a 7:30 game. Other games of significance, we're going to talk about ranking on ranking. I got Alabama, number 13, playing number 15, Ole Miss.
Ooh, Bama needs to win.
11, Utah versus number 22, UCLA. Number 14, Oregon State versus number 21, Washington State. This one here is going to catch a lot of people's attention. The number 10, Oregon Ducks versus the number 19, Colorado Buffaloes. Of course, this game has the Dion effect, the prime.
That's
effect.
The game I'm looking forward to right there.
Is this team going to continue to do what they're doing, or are they going to drop it to the – see, I think, if they're going to continue to be the story that they are, winning this game is huge, because now – you beat this overrated, the Horned Frog, the TCU. Then you won a couple games, So now if you win Oregon, now people could start talking seriously. I think.
And if you pull that win off without Travis Hunter, that's even more impressive. That's going to be even more impressive. Once again, though, like early in the year, man, their Oregon's head coach was talking smack on Dion. Then I guess when Dion pulled into the parking lot, like Oregon campus police, they gave him a citation for something. So just keep piling on. This team feeds off of that. When are teams going to learn? Don't say anything bad about them. Treat them with respect. Don't give them that bulletin board material, because this team thrives on it. And I love it. I love how
the Saturday college games. I do believe this one will probably get the highest ratings once again.
By far.
The prime Cinderella story is huge. Everyone is into this, even if you're not really into college football. That wouldn't surprise me. Finally, the number 4 Florida State at Clemson. A lot of people saying this could be the game that trips up the Florida State Seminoles after almost, only beating the Boston College last week by 2 points.
Yeah,
playing against Clemson at Clemson. This game here, a lot of good college football this weekend, guys. Be sure to check it out. And as I said, the games are already underway.
Yeah, Michigan, number 2, Michigan's already down 7-0 to Rutgers.
Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The 2dumyinzers.com. Head on over there. We have everything you need for the 2 Dum Yinzers over at the 2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. Don't forget the www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right, Mike, the Raiders trivia question of the day. Are you ready? We only got one more day of this.
Yeah, I am ready.
Because this is who the Steelers are playing. This one's pretty simple and to the point. You ready?
I am ready.
What year was the Raiders franchise founded, Mike? What year was the Raiders franchise founded?
Ooh.
Think that over. I'll give you choices in a moment if you'd like. We are live, everybody. We're live 7 days a week from Monday to Sunday, every week, 11:30, right here. Also, if you would like to listen to the show in podcast form, we do upload the brand new show that we do every day at 8 o'clock p.m. over on Spotify. You just want to put it on in the car, maybe put it in your earbuds when you're you're at the gym, taking a jog, whatever it is. You could always go over to Spotify, go through our catalog, and find any show that you'd like. Every single show that we ever done as the Two Dum Yinzers is on Spotify. Mike, here we go. What year was the Raiders franchise founded? Do you want choices?
Yeah, I need choices.
All right, here we go. A, was it founded in 1940? B, was the franchise founded in 1950? C, 1960? D, 1970? 40, 50, 60, or 70? We're looking for the year that the Raiders franchise was founded.
Let's go with 1960.
1960. Good pick. Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and lock Mike in. There we go. Mike, the question of the day is this. What year was the Raiders franchise founded? And the choices were 1940, 1950, 1960, and 1970. Mike says 1960. That kind of makes sense, right? If you break it down and you think about things. The answer, of course, is Mike, 19. It has a 0 at the end. 1960. Good job.
Boom, baby.
Good job. Also on the board, Ralph on the board says 1960. Great job, guys. The hated Raiders. Mike, what do you got before we take off, my man?
Let's go Penn State.
Let's go Penn State. There you go. A lot of good college today. Don't forget to check it out. My thing is this. Going out to play in the hot desert of Las Vegas, will the Steelers yet wear their white shirts? And I know this is something that, maybe the wife or the girlfriend might talk about, but yes, me, I'm going to bring it up. What color shirt does the Steelers wear this weekend? Because they wore black all through the preseason, all 3 games. They've worn their black jersey through the first 2 games of the season. Will they wear their white jerseys ever this season? And maybe this week out in Las Vegas, that might not change because it is hot, but I don't know. That everything?
Yeah, that's everything. We're going to end up wearing the black.
I know. I hope we do. I mean, we're not playing that great in them, but I like them. But is that everything, Mike?
That is everything.
All
Say bye,
right.
buddy.
We do thank everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you, as always. For the Two Dum Yinzers, Mike, myself, everybody have a great day. Enjoy your college football.
Oh, God.
He's asking for Derpy.
Oh, okay.
He's like, where's Derpy?
We're all a little worried about Derpy.
We are worried about Derpy.
But yes, enjoy your games today, everybody. We do got pros tomorrow. We'll be back first thing tomorrow to talk about the Steelers and get ready for NFL game day. For the Two Dum Yinzers, Mike, Ryan, everybody have a